Once upon a time, there were mid-range phones that weren't that good. These days, however, they are actually pretty solid. And Xiaomi is one of the top runners to that. So, these are my first impressions of the next one from Xiaomi. The Xiaomi Redmi Note 10 Pro. Let's find out how this device is. But of course, these are my first impressions and not a full review. Either way, let's dive into the video. Sorry, I got carried away a little bit. If I find songs that I like, okay. Let's just look at the phone. Anyway, fancy intro out of the way, and of course the other things. Let's just look at the phone for now and see what it actually offers. Now, of course, when it comes to this phone, you get a 6.67 inch display, and it's actually a 120 Hz AMOLED display, and that is quite nice because I do think AMOLED displays look far superior to an LCD. Of course, it depends on the display quality and whatnot, but still, AMOLED has my preference. When it comes to the CPU, it's a Snapdragon 732G, which means it's not a 5G version, but it's a 4G, which is fine honestly, because 4G right now offers pretty much the same speeds as well. And then of course we have our quad camera setup. The main one is a 108 megapixel sensor. Now of course, not everything is about pixels, but it's the 108 megapixel sensor that is inside there. We have our 8 megapixel ultra wide sensor and our 5 megapixel telemacro lens. Now this telemacro lens is actually quite nice. I tried it out a little bit, and what it basically does, it zooms in. Instead of you trying to get the camera really close to the subject, it zooms in for you and then you get the macro effect. And of course we have our 2 megapixel depth sensor. In terms of front camera, it's a 16 megapixel front facing camera. When it comes to the battery itself, it's a 5020 mAh battery, and you can charge it up to 33 watts per hour. When it comes to the memory and of course RAM, you have a 6GB version with 64GB internal memory, 6GB version with 128GB of memory, and an 8GB with 128GB of memory. And some other specifications is that it has a side-mounted fingerprint scanner, a 360-degree light sensor, and of course we have our nice 3.5mm headphone jack. Really ideal to have on the phone. You know, other companies should follow suit on this one. Of course we have our dual speakers as well, which is actually quite nice to have. If you try the phone without dual speakers and then go back to dual speakers, you will notice that it's just much better. Of course you have NFC, and of course you have your dual SIM slot as well with your micro SD in there as well. In terms of colors, you have either Onyx Grey, which is the version that I'm showing right here. You have your Gradient Bronze and your Glacier Blue. I'm really curious to see how that Gradient Bronze is because I haven't seen it yet. This is recorded before the presentation itself, but I'm really curious to see how that one looks. Either way, I think this is a really compelling package from Xiaomi yet again when it comes to these phones. Of course, I don't know the price at the moment. There is no info about that price as of yet and what the price will be for this phone. If I know it, I of course will leave a pinned comment where you can see how much it costs for this phone. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this short first impression video of the Xiaomi Redmi Note 10 Pro. And of course, if you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe and hit that bell icon if you want to get a notification when I upload the review of this device and of course some other content on my channel. Either way, have a good one and talk to you guys in the next